Imagine there's a streamer in our community who dated a minor when he was 24 and then sent revenge porn to her mother after a bad breakup, leading to a permanent ban on Twitch in 2021. I also want you to imagine that this streamer is permanently banned from attending RuneFest events because of multiple counts of sexual assault and sexual harassment. Well, you don't really need to imagine it, because that is exactly what's going on right now. This is someone who is taking advantage of the fact that people don't really know or remember who he truly is, and is currently being celebrated in our space. You will be able to find proof of everything talked about in the description. I've been making old school RuneScape videos for over 3 years now, and I never thought I'd be making a video like this on my channel. All I want is to help you play our favorite game more efficiently, but other than that, I also want to help the community by reminding you just how absolutely disgusting people can be, and get away with it acting as if nothing ever happened. If this video is not your cup of tea, don't worry, regular videos resume next week. Before we continue, I have to include a big disclaimer, and that is that this video will be somewhat different, because today you won't be seeing any faces, any names, and you won't be hearing any voices. The reason for this is that the person we are talking about today is known to issue copyright strikes on people's channels if they talk about his disgusting behavior, and the last thing I want is to give this person the satisfaction of successfully taking down the video. Despite me not revealing any personal details, what I'll tell you is that his name rhymes with bros and bore. I'm sure you'll figure it out. For the sake of this video though, let's call him Jeff. To understand why this is so concerning, we have to go all the way back to when our biggest worry in life was going back home after school and seeing So Solid 2K's latest max hits video. When people started making RuneScape videos with unregistered Hypercam 2 as early as 2006, Jeff wanted a piece of the pie and started making commentary videos, which at the time not a lot of people were doing, and quickly rose to fame in an already tiny group of creators. He would continue doing this until he swapped to a different game in 2012, and this is where a lot of his core audience would move on, because if you watched him for RuneScape, chances are you stopped watching him after he quit. And this is why I think this video is important, because if you have just recently known he came back to old school RuneScape, there's a big chance you don't know about his criminal past. Remember how I mentioned a Twitch ban in 2021? Well, that was not his first rodeo, because back in 2016, he got indefinitely banned after doxing one of his viewers because of a text-to-speech donation harassing him, creating huge drama which led to harassment for another streamer by the name Rainbow Kids, now known as Anissa Jama. And finally, for calling an esports caster a pedophile, which at the time were baseless accusations. For some odd reason, he was unbanned around 2018 and continued doing his thing. Jeff stayed somewhat involved in the RuneScape scene, and although he stopped maining his content around our beloved pixelated dopamine simulator, he would come back to old school RuneScape from time to time as early as 2013, when Jagex brought back the vanilla servers. Because of this, he would end up attending RuneFest to 2018. For a lot of people, this is a perfect time to talk to JMods and their favorite content creators. For Jeff though, it was a perfect time to go full degen mode. He could be seen forcing kisses onto drunk women and calling them pussies for rejecting him, start crawling towards an attendee on his knees with his face pointed directly at her buttocks, and arguably what got him permanently banned from ever attending another one of these events, an altercation with Skidler, who is a prominent RuneScape streamer. Jeff started talking to one of Skidler's friends, making absolutely disgusting remarks about her and her attire. Keep in mind that this was after multiple people brought up the fact that he was doing this with as many attendees as possible. Because of this, Skidler confronted Jeff outside a hotel where the gathering was taking place. And to make a long story short, one of Jeff's friends grabbed Skidler by the neck, threw him on the ground, and started being kicked by multiple goons. This was quickly stopped, and after the event, people issued their statements on social media, Skidler and Jeff being two of them. After the dust settled, Jagex issued their own statement, letting the community know that they had taken action against offenders, completely severing ties with them, and being prohibited from ever attending RuneFest again. I contacted Matt K, who worked at Jagex up until May of 2019, and he himself confirmed that at the time, Jeff was the only person on their naughty list. When the community, and even the company that makes the game you are currently playing, absolutely despises you, that says a lot about your character. Because of all of this, Jeff received a 30-day suspension on Twitch, but if you think this is bad, things are about to get much, much worse. Everything stayed relatively quiet for a few years, and it wasn't until 2019 when things started going downhill for Jeff. He was streaming on Twitch for upwards of 10,000 viewers, and the moderator of r/roastme on Reddit asked him to post on their forum. If you don't know what r/roastme is, it is a subreddit where people upload pictures of themselves for users to roast them, mainly on their looks. What Jeff wasn't expecting is that some people would actually roast him for his past. The comments began pretty mild, but when people started bringing up his past, it led to users posting a pastebin document which compiled years of sickening behavior. To say the list is disturbing would be the understatement of the century. Some categories included sexual activity with minors, sexual assault, sexual harassment, use of racial and homophobic slurs, grooming, misogyny, and even scamming. The document also included video evidence and pictures, which led to massive backlash against the streamer. After he realized the mistake he had done, he deleted the post, but another subreddit by the name LivestreamFail posted the fact that Jeff was trying to hide, and it made things 10 times worse. If people thought that Jeff had a concerning amount of victims, recent news only added fuel to the fire. More people came forward, and it was clear that the Reddit post was only the tip of the iceberg. I could make an hour-long video on everything surrounding this topic because of the sheer number and severity of the actions, but let's keep it short for now, focusing on the worst ones. A Twitter user by the name Eve explains how she wanted to become a big RuneScape YouTuber all the way back in 2008, when she was just 13 years old. Jeff was 16 at the time, and was one of the people she talked to in order to get more involved with the community. And this escalated to Jeff asking her to moan for him on Skype, and eventually for nude pictures for favors in the RuneScape and YouTube scene, which she refused. When this happened, she was met with a pretty harsh message, following with a threat of not having a future in the video making space. Despite this not playing a role in any of his current bans, it just shows a pattern of behavior that would become too common surrounding Jeff. After the Twitch ban, another streamer by the name Jenna was interviewed by Kotaku, where she told him about a particularly troubling incident. She was sexually assaulted by Jeff when he was drunk at a Twitch party in 2019, and he wouldn't stop touching her despite having previously talked about other cases of sexual assault. Another one of his victims released a statement on Twitter, and following almost the same pattern, her and Jeff would start chatting casually around 2015, leading to pretty sexually charged messages. After the relationship went south, she explains how she was afraid to speak up because for years after the events, Jeff's fans wouldn't stop harassing her online, even revealing that lewd pictures of her were shared by Jeff when she was just 16 years old. At the time, he was 23. Other female streamers also voiced their opinion about how this had been going on for too long, and action hadn't really been taken against Jeff until this entire thing went down. These are just some of the things we know about up until this day. The main reason for his Twitch ban in 2021 is that one of his ex-girlfriends came out with a statement revealing everything that had happened to her when Jeff sent intimate pictures to her mother on a USB via mail. This had consequences for her both online and in real life, and if you hear her statement, it's honestly heartbreaking. This was probably the worst offense because not only did Jeff document the entire process of him sending the USB, but also made the Twitter videos bad-mouthing Reddit when they were calling him out for his disgusting behavior, where he himself admitted of doing this again over Snapchat DMs with Rainbow Kids. After a few days of backlash, Jeff was permanently banned from Twitch, Streamlabs, and Stream Elements in March of 2021. And this time, it seemed like it was the final nail in the coffin. He has hinted at the fact that multiple appeals have been made, but this has fallen into deaf ears. Jeff started streaming Old School RuneScape again in July of 2024, and if you ask me, it's absolutely sickening how someone like this is able to profit off of our community. It's also pretty impressive how any platform could host this person after so much information is publicly available. But to be quite honest, I don't really believe Kick cared too much about someone with his resume when the platform has seen similar cases. To close out the video, I'm a big fan of the saying, separate the art from the artist. I think we're all capable of enjoying a lot of Old School RuneScape soundtracks despite the original composer having a, let's just say, criminal record. I'm not faulting Jagex for this since they fired him as soon as they knew, but what happens when the artist is, in a way, the art? If you watch Jeff's videos or have his stream as background noise when working or playing, I mean, I wouldn't congratulate you, but people monetarily supporting someone like this is astronomically shocking. As I said at the beginning of my video, other than helping the community learn how to play this game more efficiently, I also want to warn you of cockroaches roaming around and taking advantage of people who may not know who the person they are watching truly is. I want to reiterate that this will be the only video of its kind you will ever see on my channel, and if there's a follow-up, I'll just keep updating the description to keep you up to date. Jagex. If you have permanently banned this person from ever attending your live events for sexual assault and sexual harassment, and if this person is banned off of multiple platforms for revenge porn and sexual exploitation, how is he still allowed to play our game?